Jin is a very strong character in Tekken 8 right now, and although he is not really a Mishima, he does have the Mishima playstyle to his name as just being a bonus for every other tool that he has as well. He has very strong mix-ups with the Hell Sweep, very strong space control with the electric, and various strong mids, one of the best lows in the game, and overall just a very well-rounded character. Hey guys, GamerNemy here, and in this video I'm gonna give you guys 15 essential tips that you should use as a Jin main if you're trying to improve your character or just getting into Jin in general. Mishimas are one of the best characters in the game when it comes to space control, and Jin is no exception. He has the electric wind Hawk Fist, which practically works the same as a normal electric, so he gains the ability to space control like crazy in this game as well. And just as a bonus, Jin has one of the best mids in the game when it comes to dictating the space between range 1 to range 2. So moves like back to 1, forward forward 2, forward 4, forward forward 4, forward neutral quarter circle forward 3. All these mids are insane when it comes to space control. Honestly, you should not lose this battle when it comes to commanding this particular range. Jin is a monster. Not a single character in the game controls this much space than Jin does. Jin's forward forward 2 is a gold move, without a doubt one of the best mids in the game. However, most Jins rely too much on forward forward 2. It is good, but at high level, this is a move that people expect you to throw out every single time. As good as it is, it's only -9 on block and leaves you very close to the opponent, so you basically lose your turn. And on top of that, at high level, at the highest of levels, it can be stepped if timed correctly. Now there are ways around this, yes I understand, but don't over rely too much on forward forward 2 when you do have moves like forward 4. Forward 4 is a safe mid counter hit launcher, and honestly you get more mileage from throwing out forward 4s because of the counter hit property than just using forward forward 2, which leaves you at -9 in your opponent's face. So the risk and reward is better off of forward 4 than it is of forward forward 2. So don't over rely too much on forward forward 2. Jin has one of, if not the best parry in the game, being able to parry everything in the game except lows, throws, and rage arts, as well as reversal break effect moves such as Steve's Lionheart 1+2. The punish you get off of this parry depends on how quick the move recovers. So think of Dragonov's Running 2 for example. This move recovers very slow, so you can get like a can punish or an EWGF punish, but think of something like a regular down forward 1. A down forward 1 recovers really fast. So if Jin gets a parry off of a down forward 1, you get something as basic as a jab punish, like a simple 2-4, or in some cases 1+2. So it all depends on the reads that you make. You have to familiarize yourself with how certain moves recover after you parry them. Now this takes skill and a lot of practice. You have to put yourself against certain characters' moves. So for beginners, I suggest putting moves such as Dragonov Running 2 for starters and basic down forward ones as well. So having this parry makes opponents think twice about just running carelessly against Jin. So think of moves like Lee Running 3-4, Dragonov Running 2, Jin forward 4, Victor Running 2. The parry also has some really good recovery rate. It's very difficult to whiff punish if you don't expect it, so don't be afraid to throw it out once in a while. But remember, it is not perfect, it can be thrown and does not parry lows as well. Jin's Hell Sweep knocks the opponent down with their back against the floor and their head facing up, which sets it up for some really strong okizeme options. So for starters, if they decide to stay on the ground, of course just follow up with down 2. That hits them even if they decide to roll on the ground. If they decide to get up with up directly, you can get a forward 3-1 punish to take you into hit, or forward 1+2 for max damage if you don't want to go into hit. If they decide to get up with back, you can clip them with back to 1, which is very strong. Or if you don't want to go for the back to 1, you can instead set up some dive kick oki. And the dive kick oki at max range gives you hella plus frames, as we'll talk about later in the video, so you might want to use that as a very strong setup for the dive kick. Hell Sweep oki, insanely good. Jin's down 2 is one of, if not the best low in the game. It's a high crushing low that launches on counter hit, is only -14 on block, and as insane tracking. Honestly, this low is pretty broken right now and is due for some nerfs if you ask me, so use it while it's hot. It's on the verge of being reactable at 23 frames, and mind you, Jin has very strong mids as discussed earlier. He also has a safe launching mid in forward 3, so opponents won't just randomly duck against you all the time. So guys, my advice for this move is spam the hell out of down 2 wow, it's still good. Down forward 3-3 is amazing for off-axis combos. By holding down forward after down forward 3-3, it can automatically take you into Jin's wave dash, giving you access to his wave dash 1, which is the mid-electric version that also hits grounded. Launch your opponent off-axis, spike them with down forward 3-3 into wave dash 1 that hits grounded opponents guaranteed. But not just that, it's also very good for some Oki, as we discussed earlier with Jin's Hell Sweep. You can spike the opponent with down forward 3-3, then use it as a mix-up between the mid-electric or the Hell Sweep, or go for the dive kick instead if you want. Very strong tool just for maximizing damage off-axis. Down back 4 into standing 4 is a classic Jin frame trap. So basically they press any buttons after down back 4, they get countered. Of course 4 is a high, so they can press lows or like dick jabs, power crash or hit burst, that sort of thing. But anything else other than that, you will get a countered, guaranteeing you 1+2, which takes you into hit or down forward 1-4. Now one thing you notice is if they jab after you hit them with a down back 4, you are going to trade. Now because of how trades work, the person that's plus once the trade happens gets to be in a favorable situation. So you can still go for 1+2 to take you into hit, you can still go for down forward 1-4. However, because of the trade that gives you even more plus frames in your favor, you can get a guaranteed can. So this is what makes down back 4 into standing 4 a very strong setup with Jin. And most opponents are always looking for this every time you throw out a down back 4. So mix that up with like a forward 3 instead to just catch them off guard and stop them from ducking. This is something that you might know that a lot of Jin players overlook. Jin actually has a complete throw game. He has a 1 throw, a 2 throw, and a 1+2 throw. And as we know by now, throws in Tekken 8 are very strong. So being a Mishima and on top of that having a complete throw game, oh my days, this character, man, don't sleep on Jin's throws. Bro out here trying to be king and is almost there. Jin's 2-1-4 is an amazing string for poking, pressure, conditioning, and mental frames as well. But did you know that you can't actually sidestep this move? You have to commit sidewalk to get a clean punish. So there are some situations where you can like sidestep and punish most characters in this game, but 2-1-4 does not follow that logic. You have to commit to a sidewalk, especially for the 2-1 part. If you try to get a quick punish after a sidestep, the 1 part or even the 1-4 part will clip you most of the time. So committing to a sidewalk is how opponents have to deal with the string. This makes Jin's homie moves even more effective than most of the characters in this game, because most characters can be beaten out by sidestep duck a lot, but with Jin they have to commit to a sidewalk to completely beat out the 2-1-4. So this is amazing, and it all depends on the reads you have on your opponent. Is your opponent sidestepping a lot, or are they committing to sidewalk? Sidewalks, you have 4 forward, neutral, quarter circle, forward 3 to catch those sidewalks. Are they stepping? 2-1-4 is enough to track them. This does not apply against characters such as Alisa and Lily, so keep that in mind, but for most of the cast you should be good to go. Forward 3 is a natural safe mid launcher on hit that's often used as a mix-up for his Hell Sweep. Now one thing you guys know is Jin can actually access his 1-2 strings after forward 3. So you can do like forward 3 into 1-2-4, forward 3 into 1-2-3, forward 3 into 1-2 up 1. Now the thing is, if you do forward 3 into 1 jab, it actually becomes +1. And the best part is you can still get a full combo if the jab hits. Like forward 3 into 1 can still give a full combo. So forward 3 on its own is -7. So generally you don't really get to continue your pressure afterwards because you are at a disadvantage. But if you do forward 3 into 1 jab, you are +1. So now you're throwing out a safe mid launcher and stealing your turn back if it's blocked. That is just so strong. It is so strong. It's a mid-safe launcher. Now then you add another layer of mix-up with the 1 jab as well. So opponent now starts twitch ducking, expecting the high strings, when instead you can just do forward 3 on its own. And because they're ducking, you now mentally get to steal your turn back, right? Because you're expecting the high. So it's a very versatile string, and Jin players don't use this as much as they should be, honestly. And I do think it's low-key busted. It is just so strong. Jin's Zen 3+4 is a high hitting jet kick which can be used to apply some insane pressure. It is +9 on block, however it does have some massive pushback, so it's not very strong at mid-screen, but at the wall is where it shines. So it has the wall stun animation, which gives him +15. +15 is just ridiculous. You can also hold down forward, which can take you into his wave dash, giving you the just frame version of the electric, just like down forward 3-3. Now this is very strong, especially in hit, because Zen 3+4 does some massive amounts of chip damage. So Jin at the wall is a beast, one of the best characters as well with his wall pressure. Like it's so toxic dealing with Jin at the wall. This and the dive kick as a mix-up is just, oh my days, it's very strong. So always implement the jet kick in your wall pressure with Jin, especially whilst in hit. Which brings us to Jin's dive kick, or his Zen 4. This move is strictly amazing. It's only +2 on block, however with the right spacing you can actually get it to as much as +8. So the further you are, the more plus it is. So with that said, Jin has some very good Oki setups, or like some really good setups in general, to get the maximum amount of frames or plus frames that you can get from this dive kick. So the dive kick is actually very good at mid screen as well, unlike his jet kick, because it is a mid, right? So very strong off of knockdowns and okizeme as well. His dive kick and his jet kick are like yin and yang. You can use them as a mix-up for each other as well, and in hit it's just as good as his jet kick because it deals massive damage as well. And at the wall, oh my goodness, at the wall Jin is a monster, guys. I can't stress it enough. This man is strictly cancer at the wall. Jesus fuck it, he is a beast. He is so strong. So you can mix up the dive kick with the jet kick at the wall to get some massive amounts of plus frames and chip damage at the same time. Like, it is so difficult. You can't just press buttons against Jin at the wall because your back is against the wall. It's an easy wall splat for him. So when Jin is in your face at the wall, just pray, bro. Like just pray. But it's very strong, guys. Please implement your dive kicks as well, mostly as a mix up to the jet kick, because jet kick does give you that +15 and you want that wall stun. That wall stun, plus frames and chip damage as well. So utilize this to, remember guys, yin and yang. And lastly, Jin's hit smash. Jin's goddamn hit smash. This thing hits from the fucking North Pole, bro. Whenever your opponent's back is against the wall, you must always end your hit with a hit smash, right? Because you want that wall splat and it does some massive amounts of damage. Now, one mistake Jin players always do is spending hit immediately they are in hit. I do get his hit smash is strong, but don't spend your hit immediately, especially if you are at the corner. Get some hit mix-ups as well, like 1 or 2, remain with that like quarter of hit gauge left, then throw out the hit smash. That's the most effective way that you want to use up your hit. So there you have it, guys, 15 essential tips that will for sure improve your Jin in general. So now if you liked my video, I do have a full Jin guide. If you haven't seen it already, I pretty much cover like all his best tools for the character, so don't forget to check that out. So thank you so much, boys. Leave a like, subscribe as usual, and thanks for the love. GG.